This happened 7 years ago. On high school graduation day, I made up my mind to confess my feelings to the girl that I liked. That person was my age and my childhood acquaintance, Kato Ayumi. Ayumi, I've liked you for a very long time.
Oh, I see. But I'm sorry, I can't date you, Masato.
I was unable to ask her why, and I was flatly turned down. My name is Okamura Masato. I'm a working adult in my mid-20s. Even today, I'm reliably going to work. Oh, was it today that the new person was starting? It had been 7 years since that day. Ayumi and I went our own separate ways after graduation and never saw each other again. Though it had been a long time since we saw each other. This is Kato Ayumi, who is entering our department today as a mid-career hire. Okamura, please, train her. What? Me? But seriously, what is she doing here? Because you are most suited to doing so.
Nice to meet you.
Ayumi treated me as if she did not know me, so I decided to do the same. This is unbearable. This situation. Is she really not thinking of anything? I looked over at her and she was just getting ready at her own desk. Suddenly, my colleague came over. Oh, so you were picked to train her. I wanted to do it.
I'm fine with either, but the boss picked him. Sorry.
It's not something you need to apologize about. Among my colleagues, Masato works the hardest, so ask him anything. What are you even talking about? During the lunch break, Ayumi started becoming friendly with other members of the team. She's always been good at communication.
Kato, if there's anything you need, don't be afraid to ask me.
Okay, thank you so much. We're close in age, so you can be more familiar with us.
Are you dating anyone? I was also concerned about that. I wonder if there is anyone.
No.
Are you serious? Maybe I can be a candidate. Ayumi is clearly in a bad position, but I can't exactly say that and insert myself into the conversation. While I was thinking about what to do, one of the female colleagues came to the rescue.
Hey, don't ask questions to someone who literally just got here.
That's true. Sorry.
Of course, the second a pretty girl comes along, you find yourself all concerned.
You're making me sound bad, like I'm a player.
That's exactly what you are.
Oh, that's harsh.
You guys are such high energy.
There was no more reason for me to intervene, so I was able to relax a little. I know it would have been weird to insert myself in a conversation I wasn't a part of, but I also felt that I couldn't do it even as a childhood acquaintance. Lunch ended with me feeling weird. It had been a couple of days since Ayumi came. Maybe it was just my impression, but I felt she blew me off often. Of course, she was friendly to bosses, but she was also friendly to coworkers. But whenever I tried to talk to her, she would immediately get a deadpan look on her face. Is she cold to me because of what happened in the past? Hasn't enough time passed? That was how I felt, but I didn't tell her anything. One day, when I was mentoring her like I usually do, we reached for the same thing and our hands touched. Oh, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
She's definitely treating me weirdly. But for a moment, I felt like grabbing her hand. Do I still like her? Ayumi went back to her desk without much thought. I was left to be flustered by myself. Caught in the waves of emotions and general busyness, 1 month passed. When one day, when the end-of-day chime went off, "Let's have a welcome party for Kato-san. Everyone, please make sure to come." In response to the boss, everyone seemed to be in a good mood. Our boss usually threw an after-work party once a month to encourage people to get to know one another.
Oh, you really don't have to do that for me.
Don't worry about it. If we didn't do this, it would be hard to get to know your coworkers.
I mean, I've been talking to them on a normal basis.
But that's at work. It's fun to get together outside of that. Pressured by our boss, Ayumi agreed to participate. Various people came poured into the bar to participate in the welcome party. As the subject, of course, Ayumi was there. I'm sure she found it hard to turn down. Is she alright? She seems kind of tense. Ayumi, are you okay? You aren't sick or anything. Shoot! I called her by her first name. Though no one around seemed to have heard, so I'm a little relieved.
I'm okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I feel like she's kind of telling me not to talk to her. She's definitely icy. Suddenly, a female colleague came up to her.
Kato-san, I feel like you're only icy to Okumura. He looks like that, but he's actually a really nice guy.
I see.
What do you mean I look like that?
Oh, you overheard?
I'm right next to you, so of course I heard.
Sorry about that.
For some reason, I always seem to butt heads with this coworker. We don't get into any serious fights, so I try not to think too much about it. How about you guys leave it here and mingle with others? You both always seem to be talking to one another.
Well, we are colleagues after all.
Well, what kind of reason is that? 30 minutes later, everyone had more or less arrived, so the boss decided to do a toast. I'm glad we have a great worker with potential like Kato-san. I'm so happy. Boss, even though you haven't drank yet, are you drunk? I'm not drunk.
Let's hurry up and drink.
The two of them are really chatting up with the boss. They should listen a little. All right, cheers! Cheers! We all started drinking once the boss finished his toast. But Ayumi only put the glass to her lips and didn't really seem to drink. Kato-san, are you sure you aren't sick?
Not at all.
She said that and tried to bring up the glass to her lips again. Everyone was really celebrating, so they didn't really notice that she wasn't drinking. Wait, you don't have to force yourself to drink.
Huh?
Do you not drink alcohol?
No, I don't. It's a party for me, so I figured I should drink, but I guess I just really can't.
You don't have to force yourself to drink something you can't drink.
But...
Huh? I feel like she isn't being ice with me as usual. She's talking to me like a normal person. This little change brought me a lot of joy. Also the fact that I noticed and no one else had. 2 hours later, everyone except the boss and Ayumi were getting drunk, and it was almost time to call it a night. I'm sorry, Kato-san. I heard from Okumura-san that you don't drink.
Oh no, I should have said something when I was invited.
The boss apologized, and I'm sure it would have been hard for you to say something, so you shouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
She's kind of back to her usual. Maybe I was mistaken to think she was being nice to me, like she had in the past. Some days later, I and other employees were working overtime. One by one, everyone left until it was just Ayumi and I. Ayumi, I'll do the rest, so how about you head home? Oh no, because it's just the two of us. I used her first name again. She'll probably react coldly.
No, I'll stay too. Isn't this material because I was late on my delivery?
You still haven't gotten used to it, so it's not your fault. Plus, this is very technical. Is she treating me normally?
I want to remember and be battle ready.
You're always so gung-ho. Don't push yourself too hard. It'd be a problem if you fainted at work or something.
Thanks.
We worked about 30 more minutes and then headed home.
Masato, there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
What is it? I cautiously questioned, and Ayumi's expression changed and she started speaking.
There was a reason I turned down your confession back at graduation.
Reason?
The thing is that it had been decided that my family was going to move. I wanted to stay behind, but they decided to sell the house.
I had no idea that was what was going on. I see. That's a lot of family stuff. In general, I don't really think too much about what happened that day, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, it is something that happened a long time ago. I figured you'd meet someone who lived near you, so I turned you down.
Well, it is Ayumi, of course. She wouldn't want a long-distance relationship. She always puts others over herself, so it makes sense. Well, unfortunately, there's no one near me.
What? Really? Well, I've liked you for a long time.
Really?
If you are okay with it, I'd like to date you. I know I'm just saying things, but I still like you.
Her confession. There was no way I wasn't agreeing. I've also liked you since before, and I still like you now.
Really?
Without realizing it, I was holding her. Let's date. We're both adults now, and it wouldn't be the worst thing if we were apart.
Yeah, right now I'm living in an apartment, but my lease is coming up.
How about we live together? It's not like we're strangers.
Let's make up for lost time.
Yeah. There's nothing better than living with someone you like. I suggested it, so it wasn't like I turned it down. That's how we came to live together. A year later, Ayumi and I got married. It had been a long time since we were students, but my feelings for her never changed. All right, I'm headed out.
You're forgetting something.
Oh. When I leave before her, we never miss having some sweet time together.